Good morning, welcome to the channel. This morning we're going to try and make some egg muffins for breakfast. And so I've just gathered a few things, a little bit of broccoli, some onion, some breakfast sausage that I have that we're going to fry up. And then we're just going to make some muffins in a muffin pan here and put those in the oven. So the first thing I need to do is preheat the oven. And while that's heating, we'll go ahead and start cutting everything up and getting it ready. First thing I want to do is get the sausage going, so what we're going to do is preheat our pan a little bit. You don't want to put meat into a cold pan, it doesn't cook quite as well. And while that's heating up, we'll get started here with a little bit of chopping. We're going to use some onion and some broccoli. Not very much, just a little bit, really, to taste. The muffins are kind of small. There's not a lot of room for a whole lot of stuff in there. But we want them to be tasty nonetheless. So we'll chop up some broccoli heads and a few pieces of onion. And we'll get that going. Just enough for taste. Nothing major. Same thing with the broccoli. Just nice little pieces. And we are going to soften them up in a pan just a little bit. Just to take some of the stiffness out of them so that they're not too chewy in the eggs. The eggs will only cook for a few minutes in the oven, so there's not a lot of time for vegetables to cook in the egg mixture. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. We're going to go ahead and put our sausage on. And I'm just going to use this little chopper here to separate it all in the pan. Use this quite frequently when we're making beef or chili or things like that, other soups. Does a great job. Gets it all into nice small pieces. You can see that I have a helper here. This is Lucy. And she is a dog that we rescued just about 3 months ago. We found her on a walk. My wife and I were walking, and in the dark, we saw a car come around the corner and screeched to a halt, and out came Lucy from in front of the car. Thank God she didn't get hit. She was very emaciated, looked like she had been starving for quite some time. She was wearing a collar, and the collar was very, very tight around her neck. Actually, my wife took a shoestring off of her shoe and we walked her home to bring her home and see if we could find where she came from. And to no avail, we tried for a while to find her owners. Nobody claimed her. We took her to the vet, had her checked out, and so she is still here with us now. So she's about a year old, still got a lot of puppy, and we're still trying to get her trained up to behave like the other dogs that we have. We still aren't very good. So while we're frying up that sausage, I'm also going to get another pan started here. Just a little bit of bacon grease, and we're going to put the onions and the broccoli in here so that we can get them softened a little bit before we put them in the egg mixture, which we'll make here in just a second. Now, the bacon grease that I use is from bacon that I cure myself, and you can check out my video on exactly how to do that. I've been making my own bacon now for a little over a year, and have not bought store-bought or pre-made bacon since. I think if you make your own bacon, you will find out quickly, one, that it is not very difficult. It does take a little bit of time, but it is much better, and the flavor is just wonderful. And then I collect all the bacon grease anytime we cook bacon into a little tin can here that we got actually on Amazon, and I'll put a link to that for you. We use that in all of our cooking, as opposed to any other types of cooking oil or butter or anything like that in the pan. We follow a very low-carb diet for the most part. On occasion, we'll break out from that a little bit, but we try and stick to it as much as we can, and having the bacon grease around really helps out with that quite a lot. There's an awful lot of oils that have things in it that you really don't want to eat too much of. You get inflammation, etc., especially from seed oils and those type of things. So we try to avoid that as much as possible. Turn this pan down a little bit and just let this sausage finish up. It's almost there. And we're just going to soften up these vegetables a little bit. I'm going to put a little pinch of salt in here just to help draw out a little bit of the moisture. Sounds like my oven is ready now. So I just set the oven at 350. That seems to work for this very well and for most things. The sausage is looking good, smells delicious. I don't know if you like sausage, I love it. Have not made my own sausage though. I might try that someday. Almost there. So the sausage and the vegetables are looking good, and while they're finishing up here, we will make our egg mixture, which is really no more than just scrambling some eggs up. So I have a 6 muffin tin here that I'm going to use, and I'll figure about, I don't know, an egg and a half for each one. So we'll use 9 eggs. Okay, I have my 9 eggs now in the bowl, and we're just going to whisk them all together. Get them good and mixed up here, and then we're going to put just a little bit of heavy cream into the mixture. I don't usually put anything in scrambled eggs when I make scrambled eggs, but we're going to go ahead and put it in here to help give it a little bit of volume as it bakes up. Not very much, that's probably 2 tablespoons if I had to guess. And we'll put a little bit of salt and pepper into the eggs for a little taste. You always want to season when you're mixing. And we want to spray our pan with some non-stick oil of some sort, and I'm going to do that over the sink here because I tend to make a big mess with the spray can. Alright, we got that all sprayed, and we are going to put our Now that I have the pan sprayed, we're going to pour our eggs into the pan. And we're going to try and get them as even as we can. We'll see how this goes. I might actually make it to the end here and be pretty close. Not bad. Lucky guess there. All right. And we will put some of our sausage directly into it. Just a few little pieces in each one. There we go, that looks pretty good. Happy with that. I'll put a little more in, kind of like it. And then we'll take our vegetables and do the same thing. We'll just get a little bit of broccoli and onion in each one. And again, not a lot of things need to go in here. There's not a lot of room. You just want it enough really for taste. And you can put really whatever you like in there. You can use bacon, sausage, diced up ham, really anything that you want to. Same thing with the vegetables, any kind of vegetables that you like. You can also put spinach or any other type of vegetable that you like in there. And just like little tiny omelets. I'm going to put a little bit of cheese on top of each one. Now this cheese that I'm using here, I've used quite a bit and really have grown to like. Actually, I think I'm kind of hooked on it. It's something that I found at Costco, and it is a Swiss and Fontina blend. And instead of just using regular cheddar, I picked this up one day and I've continued to pick it up since. So I would recommend it to anybody that wants or likes shredded cheese. It is very, very good. It has a very nice mild flavor. It's not super sharp like cheddar. Sometimes you want cheddar, sometimes you don't need it. So in this case, we don't really need it, and we are ready for the oven. So while we're waiting for that to cook in the oven, I mentioned to you about making my own bacon and keeping the bacon grease and the can that I keep it in. So this is a nice little kettle, I guess is what it would be called. And we pour the bacon grease. After we cook the bacon, we save the grease, pour it in here. It comes with a very nice little screen here, and that catches all of the solid matter, any pieces of bacon that are left over, anything burned from the pan, etc. It catches all that there so it doesn't get into the grease. So when you're using the grease to cook, it's nice and clean and creamy, and it melts wonderfully, and it makes everything taste delicious. So I would recommend, even if you don't make your own bacon, I would recommend doing something like this and using your bacon grease for all of your other cooking. It's delicious when you use it for eggs or just anything that you're frying in a pan. I cook steak in it, burgers in it, everything. It's wonderful. So I would highly suggest that. Sounds like the timer is ready, so we will take these out of the oven and see what we have. Now that we're out of the oven, we're going to let them rest for just a couple of minutes. They should settle down just a little bit, finish firming up, and it'll be taste time. Okay, we let these rest for a minute now. We're going to take a couple out of the pan here and see how we did. They should come out fairly simply since we sprayed the pan. You can use any kind of a release agent on this, I guess. I probably could have used my baking grease, but sometimes convenience gets the better of me, and so the spray just happened to work out the best for me today. So there we go. They look really good, and we're going to take a little taste here. Very hot. Excellent, excellent. Just the perfect amount of onion and broccoli along with that sausage. Very, very good. I think you'd be a big hit with this. It's great for kids, it's great for before work in the morning, something to take with you. I think that you'd be very pleased with this. Thank you very much for watching today. I ask you to, if you like the video, please hit like, subscribe to the channel, and if you have any comments, please leave them below. Thanks again.